Today, February the 1st, 2025, we begin Black History Month at Lyles Station Historic Schoolhouse and Museum. Here in southern Indiana, we have also begun the process of thawing out from extreme freezing weather and inches of snow and ice that hit us in January, leaving the ground saturated. On the West Coast, however, Los Angeles and the surrounding area has been besieged by devastating fires, with destruction rivaling an apocalyptic movie. Ironically, those fires hitting Altadena and Pacific Palisades were predicted almost to the month in a 1993 science fiction book, The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler, the visionary woman proclaimed as the first major Black female author of science fiction. The Parable of the Sower depicts a post-apocalyptic world centered around Los Angeles, ravaged by climate change, economic disparity, and racism. Butler references a diary entry in her book for February the 1st, 2025. We had a fire today, describing the start of the destruction to come to the Southern California area she called home. Butler's strong female protagonist challenged the narrative of science fiction, a field dominated by well-known authors such as George Orwell, Ray Bradbury, and H.G. Wells, taking on gender stereotypes and racism. While hailed as a leader in Afrofuturism, a writing style blending history and fantasy with science fiction in order to connect Blacks with their heritage, some saw Butler as having foresight. The president of the Altadena Historical Society, Veronica Jones, explains, "You call it science fiction, but she definitely had something special that let her see into the future what could happen. She was sending us a message for sure." Others credited her intense study of history for her ability to predict what we see happening 30 years after her books were published. In 2020, Gary Caravan of Marquette University wrote, "She seems to have seen the real future coming in a way few other writers did. It's hard not to read the books and think, how did she know?" When a student once asked her if she believed what she had written in her books would take place, she replied, "I didn't make up the problems. All I did was look around at the problems we're neglecting now and give them about 30 years to grow into full-fledged disasters." Apparently, she was right. In Butler's best-known work, Kindred, she presents us with Dana, a young African-American female writer living in 1976 Los Angeles who travels in time across the country to pre-Civil War Maryland, where she encounters the horrors of slavery which her ancestors had to endure. Butler explained this work saying, "I wanted to reach people emotionally in a way that history tends not to." Butler grew up in Altadena, a city offering Blacks a refuge from the discriminatory housing laws in other sections of Los Angeles, and is buried in the nearby Mountain View Cemetery. Altadena suffered from the savage fires, and while Butler's gravesite itself wasn't burned, the cemetery did experience minimal damage. Her grave is marked with a footstone on which visitors can read a brief quote from Parable of the Sower. "All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you."